professional not to post your political beliefs, just to keep it neutral?
Yeah, I'm not big on posting the political beliefs. I don't think I've posted anything, but honestly, I feel like it's a nightmare right now. So I'll probably post something about go ahead and vote for whoever you think, not necessarily one of the two parties, because that's my passion right now. But it's you don't see me posting about political stuff. Like if you want to post something political like once a month, maybe do that. Or local politics are a totally different story, because that shows that you're integrated in the community. So, you know, rather than going all off on the presidential thing where you have a nice debate on your Facebook wall and, people unfriending people and whatever, go ahead and talk about what you can make a difference in the community when it comes to a political level and what they can vote on there, because then that makes you a trusted resource for real estate and an advocate in the community for real estate. And that's super cool. People like that because they don't take the time to follow all that stuff, but they know that you, trusted real estate agent, knows what's going on, cares what's going on, and cares about what's going on in their community, and that's definitely important. But yeah, you gotta, I hate to say water down your social, but it's almost to the point where we have to nowadays. Like you can't post, a super rage or party that you went to this weekend and expect people not to get a perception of you that you're a super rager partier. So I always say, be who you are, but make sure that you aren't skewing yourself in any one direction. Like it's cool, like if you want to post wine night with the girls or whatever, that's fine. I'm not saying you can't ever post you at a party, but then do something that's like business related or professional or a new listing that you have. Like be a multifaceted person that they would be interested in working with. So don't just only talk about real estate, don't just only talk about politics, don't just only talk about partying. You can talk about all of the above and what your passions are and that type of a thing, and then people are going to be more likely to work with you. So one of the things when it comes to marketing is you want to have a consistent brand. So what that means is that if somebody picks up your business card and then they pick up your brochure and then they go to your website, just on a visual 2-second look, they realize that they're in the right place. Like it all matchy-match. So
do you have like a logo or something that you put on everything?
Mm-hmm. Yep, a logo to put on everything is definitely good. You guys can team up. I would encourage you guys to meet some graphic design students right now. You've got some extra time that you wouldn't have if you were working full-time in real estate to do this marketing and branding, and you can get a logo created for cheap. Like when I did my branding package, I used a company called Hobbs Herder. I think it's now just Greg Herder. Great company. They did awesome for my brochures and my branding, but it cost me 10 grand. So it's not cheap if you're using a true professional. But that being said, and this is where it comes to like what you spend sometimes comes back to what you get. I have definitely gotten clients who I would not have got if I didn't pass out this super expensive, high quality brochure to them. So, was it worth the $10,000 I spent? Absolutely. But do you have $10,000 when you're coming out of college? Probably not. So, basically team up with people who can help you with the brand. Yes?
Do you need to be on social media, or is that something you can avoid?
I think you have to be on social media because here's the thing. Okay, and we don't have too many women in this room, but ladies, what do you think of a man who's not on social media?
He's hiding stuff.
I think cheater.
Mr. Oliver, is that what's going on?
I'm just saying.
But honestly,
I'm just saying.
If you don't at least have a LinkedIn, I know Angie and I feel like you don't even exist in the business world.
Yeah, like I wouldn't even hire somebody if they didn't have a LinkedIn profile.
What about LinkedIn versus like Facebook? Does it have to be Facebook?
It doesn't have to be Facebook. All I'll say to you on that level is your competition's there. And if you are not in the same spots that your competition is, then your competition will be gaining opportunities that you do not. Doesn't mean you don't have to be on Facebook. You can still kick ass and take names without it. But you have to have a plan and you have to have a reason why you don't have 6,000 likes on your like page when the other dude up for the listing presentation does, and why you're still better.
Mr. Oliver, is there something wrong with the Italian government right now? Are they trying to find you?
Right. You owe taxes back there.
And a quick remark Mark about the whole social networking thing. How you said don't only talk about real estate or don't only talk about parties. I'm backing that up completely because I have a colleague who is also a real estate agent, and all he does is post real estate stuff all day, all the time, and all my friends are always like, I unfollowed him because of this. It's so annoying seeing that all the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's.
Nobody likes a broken record. None of us play a broken record. So if you are a broken record, basically what happens, and even sadder than the fact that, you know, that's happening, like they eventually tune you out.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what you don't want. You know, don't post 10 times a day with nothingness, because then you will get tuned out. Like you want to be a voice that they are like, oh, you know, this person posted something new. Usually they post something of value. So you want to, you know, try to post things of value for your clients in your sphere on social media. But no, you don't have to be on it. Yes, I do recommend that you are, just because it makes your life easier. It's so easy for me to get a listing now because my background is internet marketing. Basically, all I say, Google the other agents that are looking, that you're considering hiring, and then Google me, and then let's talk. And I look way better on Google than these agents that have been in there 30 years because they don't understand social. So you Google me, you come up with my YouTube channel, you come up with my LinkedIn, you see all the things that I'm doing, you see that I own an internet marketing company, blah, 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 blah. And that looks much better than the other agent that's like, yes, I've been doing this for 35 years and I work off all referrals. You know, sometimes you'll lose the battle anyway, and that's okay. Like, you want your clients to choose the best fit for them because ultimately it's about trust. And if your clients don't trust you, send them to your competitor. You don't want a client that doesn't trust you. You're both gonna have a terrible time. So make sure that, you know, you've got that going on. And then when it comes, I would say, like, maybe make a deal with one of the graphic design students, because I think I paid Hobbs Herder $600 to do my social branding, where you basically, you know, they designed my YouTube channel header, they designed my Twitter header, a few other things on social, so that it's all consistent. So if you can get it done for $300 from a graphics student, just make sure you get what's called the layered files or the PDF files, so that you can go back in later on and edit the stuff if you need to. But, you know, you can be working on your consistent brand right now while you're still, you know, in school. And then you can be working on your website right now. That's another, you know, marketing piece that's super important. I always say, you know, the social networks are gonna come and go. Like, look at MySpace. None of us are on there. Probably half you guys aren't even old enough to know MySpace, and it dates me. But anyway, you know, so you don't always know what's gonna be the hottest social network. So if you would put all your eggs in the Facebook basket and then something else comes in that's, you know, everybody's all the rage about, then you have to basically rebuild it all over again. So one of the ways that you can not have to worry about rebuilding all over again is by having a website and a blog that is properly done and maintained. Because that website and blog are basically gonna be your hub, and you can always direct people there. Like, Google's not going anywhere, the internet is not going anywhere. It's always important to have a website. And the same thing, like when I first got into this industry, my website is what drove all my leads. I came up on page 1 for Orange County First Time Buyer and Orange County Real Estate, and I would just rake in the leads hand over fist. But it's not that way anymore. And it's still important to have a website, but your website, no matter how hard you work on it, and this is coming from a girl that owns an SEO company, it is not necessarily going to be on page 1 of Google. So then what do, you know, to kind of combat that is where you have all of these different things that lead people into you. Because before, in 2003, 4, 5, people found you on Google. There was not Facebook, there was not LinkedIn, there was, you know, if they might have been there, but they weren't popular at that point in time. So people would come to me through that one outlet. Now you're not so lucky. Like, I mean, you literally get contacts from LinkedIn, you'll get contacts that Facebook message you, you'll get contacts that email you that are referrals, people that pick up the phone and call. You'll get leads from Zillow and Realtor.com and Trulia and all of these various places. So it's important to kind of just gauge and know that you're not going to be able to necessarily in this day and age have one pool that you grab all your leads from. And if you do, you better watch out, because those pools change fast, and then you can be caught, you know, in an unlucky state if something changes and there's a major shift that happens. So be careful about that. And then when it comes to blogging, it's the best thing that you guys can do to get found in Google, because usually if a visitor is going to convert, it's called a long tail keyword phrase that they convert from. So I take this back to shoes. If, you know, girls are Googling shoes, we do not know what we want when it comes to shoes. But if a girl is Googling red 6-inch glitter pumps, that girl has her credit card in her hand and she is ready to buy the red 6-inch glitter pumps. That's a long tail keyword phrase. So you guys can come up, don't expect to come up for, you know, Glendora real estate, but you can come up for a certain community in Glendora, real estate agent, or things like that. And those are the types of phrases that you want to be blogging about. And you never waste your time on a blog. I can't tell you how many times I've got some random call that was on some blog post that I did about FHA programs or who knows what, that are like, I'm on your blog right now. And so you know, you'll get those calls if you're a blogger. And on top of that, if you take the time when you're in like a lot of these training sessions to just take notes on your computers and blog, like live blog while you're there. Like if I go to real estate updates, I live blog the stats and the information that's coming through in that real estate update. If I go, you know, like we went to a real estate focus group class the other day, and there was tax advisors that were talking about ways that 1031 exchange and other, you know, tax strategies and shelters for your clients. So I, as a real estate agent, can't give tax advice, but I can, on my blog, talk about the tax advisors that I'm sitting in their room listening to. And that's something that, you know, basically it will help you generate leads, and it will help you generate a perception of this person knows what they're talking about when it comes to real estate. And it's kind of funny, like that sometimes I'll blog about some program and I'm like, oh man, I knew that there was this program for this buyer, and then I'll go Google it, and then I end up in my own blog post again. Oh yeah, I blogged about that. So I mean, it would be helpful for you too, like, and you can use your blog as a tool. Like when it comes, and we're not really in a short sale market right now, but when that comes again, short sales are a huge pain in the butt. They're super complicated. So before, when somebody would call me and they say, Angie, I'm thinking about short selling my home, you know, what should I do? This is literally like a 2-hour-long counseling session. So I took the time to write a bunch of posts on my blog about short sales. So now if somebody calls me and they say, Angie, I want to talk about short sale, I say, great, you know, I'd be happy to help you out. We are very experienced in short sales and all the nightmares that can come along with those. What I'm going to do is I'm going to send you a link to our blog post about short sales. I want you to read the information, and then let's talk in a day or so about your questions. So what I did is I shortened my time spent with them from 2 hours to about 20 to 30 minutes. So I'm buying time back by educating people through the blog. And they appreciate it too, because they can go back and reference something that they might not have understood. So these are, and then you turn around and then you share your blog post on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, all your social outlets. It's a really great tool for you guys to use, and it's absolutely free. I would say, you know, write down WordPress.org for your blogging platform. Do not blog on ActiveRain or Zillow or Trulia or any of those other websites, because all you're doing is SEOing their website. So you need to do your blog on your site so that you get the Google juice for it, so to speak. You guys all know SEO stands for search engine optimization, coming up at the top of Google. Okay, I don't feel like I have to explain that acronym anymore, but I used to 10 years ago. Okay, and then when it comes to social, I'm just gonna rattle off the places where I think that you should have social presences. Remember, you don't have to have all of these, and if you just throw up a profile and you do nothing, it's just as bad as not having it at all. So you have to be a little bit interactive. I'm not saying you gotta be on there every day, all day. I'm saying you need to come out and update at least once or twice a week so that you seem like you're still busy in the industry, you're not on vacation, you're not binge watching who knows what. So make sure you're on LinkedIn, because anytime anybody Googles you, LinkedIn always comes up on page 1 rankings. So you want people to be able to find you if they're talking at a party. This is literally how real estate referrals happen. Everybody has too much wine at the party, and then they're talking about property prices, and then they're talking about who sold for what, and then a name gets thrown out, and then there's a drunk Google that happens. So that's, and then your LinkedIn profile comes up. So that, know that these things happen. Make sure that you're on LinkedIn. And then on top of that, you want to make sure that you have a YouTube channel. So start recording videos. And if you feel like, oh, I hate myself in video, blah, blah, blah. Well, you're not going to be any younger than you are today. You probably won't be any lighter. So just start doing it, and don't make it about you. It's not about you, it's about the information that you need to tell these clients. So, they're like, Kendrick posted me yesterday, and I'm like, oh, okay, it's not about me, Angie. So you just have to kind of like remember that. And then for you guys that are just kind of shy on video, one of the things that I do that's like a great idea to help you seem like you're, perceived positively in the industry is anytime you're at a seminar or something, go ask the speaker after they speak if you can record a quick 1 to 2 minute video with them about what they spoke about for your sphere. They like it when you promote them, and then you look good because you're standing next to some hot shot and they're talking to you about real estate, and then you're showing that to your sphere. And then all you have to do is sit there and go, yeah, sure, that's a great idea. Look at the camera like 3 times and then just let them do the talking for you on your video, and you just be in it. So there's a bunch of different ways that you can still do video if you're not comfortable doing video. But I would say, the agents that do video, and YouTube is the #2 search engine, they're owned by Google. Most of the younger generation, like you guys ever like let your little nieces and nephews or whatever go on the iPad, where do they go first? They don't go to Google or LinkedIn or Facebook, they go to YouTube. They want to watch the videos. So know where our society is kind of progressing towards. Yes?
Is there a YouTube channel you would recommend that we should watch and like learn from?
That's a great question. I would say, why don't you Google whatever area that you're looking for in real estate and see who comes up on page 1 and area and realtor. But of course, subscribe to National Association of Realtors channel, subscribe to, I subscribe to OCAR's channel, and then you can turn around and share those videos and all that kind of thing. But there's a ton of them out there. It just depends. Do you want the coaching videos? Like Tom Ferry has a great channel with all kinds of get up in the morning, let's kick ass, that type of thing. Or if you're just looking for information, California Association of Realtors will have a lot of good, information for you on that.
Or you could just Google Angie Weeks YouTube videos and just see.
Right, yeah.
And just see her sample, and then you don't have to maybe copy it and make it your own if you like.
And that's funny too, because not all videos turn out awesome, and that's okay, and not all of them look like they get a lot of watches. But when I really knew that YouTube was working was I recorded a video, and this is probably, 5, 6 plus years ago, with my first real estate agent that sold me my first property. And I asked her, I just said, what did I do right as a buyer, so the rest of my sphere can know how did I end up kind of where I was with my own personal housing. And she said, Angie, what you did right was knowing your neighborhood. You knew exactly where you wanted to live. You told me exactly what neighborhood I needed to keep a bird's eye on for you. So therefore I was able to call you and tell you when the house came on the market. And that was such a hot market at that time. She literally called me. I was at work. She said, Angie, I found your house. You need to come write an offer on it today because it will be gone tomorrow. And my ex was homesick from work that day. I was like, get out of bed, go write an offer. That was literally how it worked. And that's, she knew, and it would have been gone the next day. So those types of things happen. Let's see here. We've got LinkedIn, we've got YouTube. Another big one, and that kind of leads on to her question, is Yelp. People want to know what other people say about you more than what you say about yourself. Those are super trusted resources, those Yelp reviews, because they feel like that's, well, you guys have all used Yelp more than likely, so you can't have any affiliation with the person or whatever. People just kind of go off on Yelp. So if you have good Yelp reviews, then that's something that's important, and people will judge you based off that. one of the things that I do is I'll offer my past clients some type of a spiff for positive reviews. Well, not even positive reviews, just reviews. I'll earn the positive part.